about winning. And the girl says, we don't chase wins, we chase excellence. And that, I know, you have to be just a girl to be crying over that, but it really touched my heart, and it's just wonderful to see. All right, the Nationals, they were 17-13 since the All-Star break. They're tied for the third best record in the National League since the All-Star break. Washington has the youngest position player pool in the National League. Now, moving over to another National League East team, the Braves, okay? They just finished playing both the New York teams in back-to-back series. The New York teams entered the season with the two highest payrolls in baseball. Danny, you're going to have to refresh because the sound is still good.
Eddie Heckman.
Good morning to Eddie. Good morning to Eddie. They're saying no sound. Why is this? Two people saying sound problems. Oh, I hate it. I know it's working because I see it on my phone that it's working. So if it's not getting sound, that's crazy. But it's not just Danny. All right, it's working. All right. So, as I was saying, the Braves just played the Mets and the Yankees in back-to-back series. These two New York teams started the season with the two highest payrolls in baseball. The Braves won 6 of 7 games, and they outscored the Mets and the Yankees 58-13. Star Dog, All-Star Dog, good morning to you. Eddie Heckman, great to see you. Teresa, good morning. Freddie Freeman hasn't gone hitless in 4 consecutive games since 2021, but he came close. Yesterday, he entered the game with an 0-for-14 stretch, including 0-for-9 since Saturday. If he had gone hitless yesterday, it would have been the first time all year he went hitless in 4 consecutive games, but he didn't. He did good yesterday, and he does some great other things too besides just hitting. Since 2017, no team has been better in July and August than those pesky Dodgers, okay? Since Dave Roberts took over in 2016, they have a 678 winning percentage in August, all right? Right now they're on a 10-game win streak. It's their longest since, guess when? Last August. The Dodgers have won nearly 80% of their games in August over the last 4 seasons. They are 78-20. So what's the lesson here? Don't mess with the Dodgers in August. Now, speaking of those pesky Dodgers, Bobby Miller is pitching himself into the postseason plans. He's got a 2.59 ERA over his past 6 starts. All right, Hector Gomez reported that a source close to Wander claims it's very unlikely that Franco will ever play again. That's, you know what, I think I view this in a completely different light than most people because of the Bauer thing, so I'm not going to, I know I'm biased and that's why I'm telling you this. I just get so annoyed at the way that they do things in baseball. But okay, if he's not going to play ever again, if he broke the law, I mean, believe me, I'm not okay with being with a 14-year-old girl. I just don't see why he would. It makes no sense to me where these players' heads are at. When they're making all of this money, they should just stay on the straight and narrow until they are done with their careers. Then they can go and live out all the fantasies that they want. But it's absolutely disgusting to hear that a player of his stature would even need to be with a girl that's only 14. And now there's other accusations. I hate to want to believe it. However, the only reason I'm talking about that again is because we have a live chat room here and we have discussions. And so if I learn something new, I tell you, especially to those living on demand. All right, Bobby Miller, the good news, 2.59 ERA over his past 6 starts. Jesus Luzardo, another thing that, no, I'll get to that later. Jesus Luzardo. Whoo, baby, Jesus Luzardo. Astros hit 3 home runs off of him in the first inning yesterday. Now he's given up 8 home runs in the past 3 games. So, Luzardo, very up and down season. A lot like Reed Detmers, and I'm going to tell you the comparison that I got earlier this morning. Tatis Jr. steals home with 0 trouble, all right? And yesterday, so Tatis was getting around the bases like Ellie De La Cruz does yesterday. Also, there was an inside the park home run. Both of those things happened on the same day. But back to those pesky Dodgers. Since reaching a season best 36-25 after beating the Dodgers on June 4th, the Yankees are 24-36. All right, since June 4th. The only teams with the worse record than the Yankees after June 6th are the White Sox, the A's, the Royals, the Pirates, and the Rockies. The Yankees have lost 5 straight, and it's their longest losing streak of the season. I think the last time the Yankees were under 500 this late into the season, Derek Jeter was being recalled from the minors for good. It was in 1995. 9 active Yankees players weren't even born yet, and manager Aaron Boone was in Double-A. All right? 1995, the last time the Yankees were under 500 this late into the season. The Rays have 8 players with 15 or more home runs, the most in a season in franchise history. It's also the most by any team this season. Verlander's win last night. It was the 252nd win of his career. He moved past Bob Gibson, CC Sabathia, and Al Spalding. His next win will tie him with Carl Hubble. Mets outfield prospect Drew Gilbert, who they received in the Verlander trade, he had 3 hits, including a double last night. He's now hitting .326 with a .383 on base percentage in 11 games with Double-A Binghamton. Ever since calling up Adley Rutschman, Baltimore has yet to be swept in 76 consecutive series, okay? That tidbit is one of my favorite tidbits of the season. Adley Rutschman. Yes, he's a good player. Yes, everybody likes him. Yes, the Orioles are doing good. Excellent. All of that's great and true. But think of this. Ever since they called this kid up, the catcher, Adley Rutschman, and you know catchers don't get enough love in baseball. They are very, very important to their team. They are absolutely important to their pitching staff. This kid was called up, and Baltimore has not been swept in 76 consecutive series. Okay, that's the 5th longest streak in Major League Baseball history and the longest since the 1942-44 St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah. King Hap, happy birthday, my friend. Great to see you, King Hap. Okay, I don't want to hear your Go Dodgers crap, okay? That's just not acceptable today. Taco, tell him. He's supposed to be rooting for the Red Sox. What the hell? All right. King Hap's doing great. He's got a fantasy football. Everybody's excited. That's wonderful. We love it. Great to see Taco and King Hap. If you missed their show, you can always go to their channel on Twitch. It's the Happy Hour Social Club, or you can listen to the replay here. But, you know, it's always nice. They have a great group of fans over and at Twitch, and they get to, everybody's interactive, just like this chat room. It's a great group of people. If you're interested in football, other sports that we don't cover here on our daily podcast, then by all means, you got to go to the Happy Hour Social Club on Twitch. And listen, if you go there live and stuff, you win swag. This swag is not junk swag. Lenny and I wear our swag whenever we can, okay? It's one of the first things I pull out for Lenny every time I do the laundry. The shirts are so soft. Everything's great. And King Hap is not greedy, okay? He gives out lots of swag. So go, and they have marbles games, and everybody participates. It's a wonderful time. My bedtime is super early now, so that's why I don't make it very often, but we love the show, and we're very proud to have King Hap and Taco as part of our wonderful group of people here at the website. All right, Unholy, this is for you. Pandemonium at Wrigley Field. Walk-off 3-run shot by Christopher Morel, and the Cubs won 4-3. Christopher Morel joins Pete Alonso as the only players to hit a walk-off home run with their team trailing by multiple runs in the 9th inning or later this season. Gavin Sheets hits the White Sox MLB low... the White Sox MLB low 23rd home run from a lefty this season. Miami has 31 home runs from lefties. That's the second lowest. And Ohtani is a lefty. He has 42 homers. Just to put the Ohtani stuff in context. He's got twice as many home runs as the entire White Sox team. But the thing is, I don't think the White Sox have a lot of lefties. So this stat is a little bit skewed. I don't really think the White Sox have enough lefties in their lineup to really compare to the rest of the teams. Not giving them a lot of credit for being a great team, by the way. The White Sox have not won 10 or more games in any 15-game span this season. Paul DeJong is off to a bad start for the Blue Jays. He's 3 for 42. No one on the Angels has had more dramatic ups and downs in the last 2 years than Reed Detmers. Officially, Reed Detmers Day today. He snapped out of his slump, okay, but you never know when the slump is going to start again, all right? I mean, he had a 10.3 ERA in his previous 6 start. He made a mechanical tweak, he says, and he took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. Now, Malpal, this is for you because this is what King Turd said to me this morning. Malpal, he compared Detmers to Luzardo, saying that they're very much alike because they both have an upper 90s fastball and an excellent slider. Both are lefties, and they still deal with major inconsistency as younger guys. That's kind of the truth. Both are lefties. Both have an excellent upper 90s fastball and a good slider as their off-speed pitch. Anyway, Detmers, I'm telling you, this guy was able to increase his velocity over the offseason, and he has had a lot of troubles, some really bad outings, but some really great outings too. He could be a good sleeper for next year. I mean, look, I'm not trying to say draft Reed Detmers in the early rounds, but we're talking about late round picks here. Reed Detmers is not going to be spendy. You could pick him in the last round maybe and still get a good, these are upside picks in your draft. Dollar players here. Most home runs through 120 games. We talk about this a lot. Every time I do a podcast, I give you this tidbit and update it. In MLB history, okay, the single season home run record by a team was set in 2019 by the Twins. They had 307. But we update this tidbit as we go because we are currently now through 120 games. All right? The Braves have 232 home runs. So interesting. It's always one home run less than the Twins had when they broke the single season record back in 2019 because through 120 games that year, the Twins had 233 homers. This year, the Braves have 232 homers. All right? Will the Braves break the single season record that was set in 2019 by the Twins with 307 home runs? We'll see. All right, we're going to the games. I'm a little late, so here we go. Spencer Torkelson, who's been on my bench all season, he homered twice against Minnesota for the second time in a week, and the Tigers beat the Twins 8-7. It was Spencer Torkelson's 4th career multi-homer game. He leads the Tigers with 20 home runs, and he's the 7th player in club history with that many during his age 23 season. O's are out of San Diego and headed to Oakland, according to Eddie Heckman, our big Orioles fan. The Twins remain 4 games ahead of Cleveland for the American League Central lead. The Tigers are 8 back of the Guardians. Kenta Maeda gave up 3 or fewer runs for a 10th straight outing. He ties Cleveland's Tanner Bibee for the longest active streak among American League starters. He had 6 strikeouts, 3 earned runs on 7 hits. And then you have a rookie starter for the Tigers, Reese Olson, gave up 4 earned runs on 8 hits, and he threw only 2 2/3 innings. Riley Green hit a 2-run homer. Carpenter went 2 for 4 with an RBI. He extended his career-best hitting streak to 12 games. Spencer Turnbull made a rehab start with AAA Toledo on Tuesday. He allowed 6 runs on 9 hits with 5 strikeouts and a walk in 5 innings. Carlos Correa sat out again to take advantage of Minnesota's day off Thursday. That's today. He's trying to let his sore foot heal. Okay, what's a sore foot? Is that from plantar fasciitis? Because we know this guy has it. So is it a sore foot, or is it's sore because it's got the plantar fasciitis problem again? Be specific, people. DJ Stewart had his first multi-homer game in 2 years, and the New York Mets actually beat the Pirates yesterday 8-3. He also homered on Tuesday, and the Mets won just their second series since completing a sell-off at the trade deadline. Yesterday, the teams combined to issue 13 walks and 27 in a 3-game series. Tyler McGill earned his first win in exactly 2 months. He gave up 2 runs in 5 innings. Johan Oviedo allowed 4 runs and walked 5 in 4 innings. Pete Alonso, whoop-de-doo, I'm a big fan because nobody else likes him, so I took it upon myself to like Pete Alonso. He hit his 36th homer. He moved into the Mets' top 10 list in RBI with 469, snapping a tie with Keith Hernandez. Have you ever had one of those Keith Hernandez's hamburgers at the ballpark, Laura? They come with cream cheese and green chilies, and they always come with a Tootsie Roll Pop on the side. And I will say, out of all the ballparks I've tried food, that's my favorite meal, Keith Hernandez burger. I didn't see it when I went there, but maybe they got rid of it. Brian Reynolds hit a 2-run homer. Hayes went 2 for 5 and finished the season batting .444 against the Mets, the highest single-season average by a Pirates player with at least 25 at-bats against the New York Mets since Gregory Polanco in 2018. Edwin Diaz threw a bullpen session, and the team has not ruled out the possibility that he could pitch this season, but give me a break, okay? Is he really going to come back this season? Do they really run a risk Edwin Diaz coming back and getting hurt again? That's a bunch of bull dinky. Infield Mark Vientos underwent an MRI that revealed inflammation, and he is day-to-day, and David Peterson underwent an X-ray that revealed no damage. The Diamondbacks beat the Rockies 9-7. The Diamondbacks moved back over 500. They are 61-60. They won 2 straight to capture their second straight series after a stretch in which they lost 10 of 12 games to fall 3.5 games out of the NL Wild Card berth. They have 31 come-from-behind victories. Did you hear that? The Diamondbacks. Wow. 31 come from behind. Let me have a sip of coffee. Are you enjoying my shows, Leonard?
Love it.
Christian Walker hit a pair of 2-run homers. Christian Walker has 28 homers and 22 career homers against Colorado.
DK Luch.
Hello, DK Luch. Great to see you. 13 of those 22 homers against Colorado have been at Coors Field. He had 3 hits and 4 RBIs. Nick Ahmed had a 3-run triple, and Corbin Carroll had 2 hits, and he stole his 37th base of the season. Lourdes Gurriel left the game because of a strained left hip, and he is considered day-to-day. Paul Sewald has his 25th save in 29 chances, and that was his 4th save in the last 5 days. He has 4 saves in 5 chances for Arizona since he was acquired from Seattle. Nolan Jones hit a 2-run homer. It was his 12th of the season. Ryan McMahon, he had 3 hits, including his 20th home run. Ezekiel Tovar had 3 hits and scored twice, and Rogers had a pair of doubles. Zach Davies gave up 7 runs and 11 hits while throwing 80 pitches in 3 innings of his second rehab start for AAA Reno yesterday. He is a candidate to rejoin the rotation on Sunday. Chase Anderson and Ryan Feltner are scheduled to face hitters on Saturday, and Anderson will likely need 2 rehab starts before a possible return to the rotation. Oh, Danny, 8 more days of liquid. Danny doing good. We're cheering for you, Danny, and thank you to Penny, who's keeping Danny safe and taking care of our chat room captain, Danny. So thank you, Penny, because you know behind every good man is a great woman.
Behind every great woman is a great behind.
And Lenny says behind every great woman is a great behind, of course. The Rays beat the Giants 6-1 yesterday. Tampa entered play on Wednesday, 3 games behind Baltimore. The Rays had 14 hits, broke out of their offensive slump one day after they were limited to 3 hits and shut out for the 5th time this season. And the Giants have lost 6 of their last 8 games. Aaron Savale, recently traded, pitched 6 strong innings for his first victory since being acquired at the trade deadline. 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he won for the first time since his last start for the Guardians. Ryan Walker allowed 1 run in 1 inning as the Giants opener, and then Ross Stripling, 11 hits and 5 runs in 6 innings. Rays outfielder Luke Raley had the first pinch hit inside the park home run in Tampa Bay history. It was his 17th of the season. He actually had been in a 4-for-29 slump in August. Brandon Lau, 100th career home run and 16th of the season. Josh Lowe went deep. That was his 15th of the season. Isaac Paredes, 3 hits, and 7 other starters had at least 1 hit. All right, Jose Siri underwent x-rays and suffered a sprained pinky when he was thrown out. Cash sounded optimistic that the injury wouldn't keep Siri out long. Cincinnati handed Cleveland's Noah Syndergaard his first loss in 10 career starts against the Reds when they beat the Guardians 7-2. The Guardians committed a season-high 4 errors yesterday, and Cincinnati now has surpassed their 2022 win total. They went into the game tied with the Cubbies for 3rd in the National League Central. Cleveland was 2nd in the American League Central, 4.5 games behind Minnesota. Andrew Abbott, who is 8-3 now, didn't walk anybody, gave up 6 hits and 2 runs with 5 strikeouts in 5 innings. Syndergaard lasted 4 1/3 innings. He allowed 6 runs on 8 hits. 5 of those were earned, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts, while falling to 7-1 against the Reds in his career. Stuart Fairchild and Matt McLain hit 2-run homers. McLain finished the night with 3 hits and 3 RBIs. TJ Friedl had 3 hits, scored 3 runs, and made 2 spectacular catches. Cal Quantrill will meet with the team officials today to determine his next start after allowing 1 run on 4 hits with a walk and 4 strikeouts in 3 2/3 innings for Double-A on Tuesday. Cam Gallagher, the catcher, left the game after 2 innings for tests for a potential head injury. Jonathan India, he's got plantar fasciitis. Okay, that's a problem. But he has been cleared to take batting practice and is scheduled for another MRI August 24th. Hunter Green is scheduled to make his first start since June 17th this Sunday. Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, and Chas McCormick homered in the first inning, and the Astros built a huge early lead and beat the Miami Marlins 12-5. Are you going to get that?
Yeah.
Hello. Please leave a message.
Houston banged out 12 hits and took 2 of 3 games from Miami's, and the Astros broke loose for 5 runs in the first inning against Jesus Luzardo. Justin Verlander benefited from the early run support and threw 5 innings of 5-run ball. He gave up 9 hits, walked 2, and struck out 2 in his 3rd start since he rejoined the Astros at the trade deadline. Sorry, I'm distracted by the chat room. I don't know what this is. Boston Paul is so... Here's the thing. Boston Paul is the king of trades, okay?
Mythical.
Methical is here. Great to see you, Methical. And now he's very disappointed because, and believe me, he noticed this was coming. This is not just sneaking up on Boston Paul. He's been knowing the trade deadline is today at 11:59 p.m. It's his most sad day of the year, and I believe it. And by the way, the only reason Verlander won the game yesterday was because of all the run support. He did not have a good outing, in my opinion. 5 runs, 5 innings, 9 hits, 2 walks, and he only struck out 2. So let's not give Verlander more credit than he deserves today, okay? Luzardo allowed 6 runs, 5 of them were earned, and 8 hits. He's 0-3 with a 7.39 ERA and 6 starts since the All-Star break. I think he's tired. That's right. Astros slugger Yordan Alvarez hit his 4th career triple. Mauricio Dubon had 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Jose Altuve returned to Houston's lineup one day after fouling a pitch off his left shin, and he left the game in the bottom of the first. Not yesterday, but the day before he had left the game in the bottom of the first, but he returned to the lineup yesterday, so everything is good, even though he only went 0 for 4. He's 3 hits shy of 2,000 for his career. Retired New York Yankees star outfielder Bernie Williams performed a great guitar rendition of the national anthem before the game, and you know we love it. Dubon split a fingernail in his at-bat in the 9th, but stayed in the game. Mauricio Dubon. Michael Brantley homered in a rehab game with AAA Sugarland, so it sounds like he's on his way back. Oakland A's snapped a 9-game road losing streak and avoided a sweep in St. Louis with an 8-0 win over the Cardinals. The A's snapped the Cardinals' 3-game winning streak, and St. Louis is last in the National League Central. They are 54-67. Oh, that's too bad for the Cardinals. Matthew Liberatore allowed 6 runs, 5 earned. In 4 1/3 innings, he gave up 10 hits, struck out 5, and walked 3. Paul Blackburn pitched 7 scoreless innings, the longest outing of his season. He allowed 6 hits with 8 strikeouts and 1 walk. That's a great outing by Paul Blackburn. Zach Gelof, 4 hits. His 2nd career 4-hit game and the 2nd one this week. Tyler Soderstrom, 1st career pinch hit home run. Lars Nootbaar left the game in the 6th with a lower abdomen contusion, and shortstop Tommy Edman left the game after the 7th with a right calf contusion. The A's recalled Kyle Muller and optioned Spencer Watkins to AAA Las Vegas. Muller was the A's opening day starter. He returns for his 3rd stint with the club. Athletics outfielder J.J. Bleday was placed on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to August 14th. Ryan Helsley, Cardinals, underwent a 2nd MRI after feeling tightness between his rehab appearances. Nolan Gorman missed his 3rd successive game, and catcher Wilson Contreras sat out a 2nd straight game with hip tightness. Stone Garrett and the Nationals were determined not to waste a superb start by Mackenzie Gore that ended early because of a cracked fingernail and blister. The Nationals entered the night with the 2nd fewest homers in the majors, ahead of only one team. Who has the... Let's see if you know this, you baseball savvy chat room. I want to know which team has less home runs than the Nationals. Only one team, and it's not Oakland, by the way, so just forget about saying Oakland. It's not Oakland. The Nationals entered the night with the 2nd fewest home runs in the majors. I don't want you looking this up. It's too easy to find the answer. Just tell me the answer off the top of your head, and it's not the Oakland Athletics. So go ahead and start guessing, my friends in chat. All right, who is the only team with less homers in the majors besides the Nationals? Boston fell to 7-7 in August and squandered a chance to get closer to the American League East rival Toronto in the AL wildcard race, but they still remain 3 games behind.
Zelmo.
Hello, Zelmo and Tony. Rebuilding Washington has won 13 of 16 at home and improved to 20-13 since July 8th. Leonard Donaldson says the Marlins. Eddie Heckman says the Royals. Boston Paul says the Royals. Marlins is there by King Turd. Paul says the Tigers. Danny Fuller, you gotta let other people play. No, it really is. It's the Cleveland Indians. They have less homers than the Nationals. Can you believe it? They have the least number of homers in the majors. That's right. You would have thought it was Oakland. That's why I kept you from going down that rabbit hole. Anyway, let's go back to the Nationals. They played Boston. Mackenzie Gore retired the first 10 batters. He struck out 7 and faced one batter over the minimum through 6 innings. He allowed 1 hit. He pitched into the 7th inning, but departed with 1 out in the 7th. He threw 85 pitches and said he expects the middle finger on his pitching hand to be fine in time for his next start. He outdueled veteran lefty James Paxton, who gave up 2 runs on 5 hits in 6 innings. Keibert Ruiz, a tie-breaking 3-run homer. Stone Garrett homered twice for the first time in his career. The Nationals beat the Red Sox 6-2. There was a pro Red Sox crowd there, 26,507 in attendance. Michael Chavez hit his second homer of the season. And the Red Sox first baseman, Tristan Casas, he had 6 unassisted putouts, 3 grounders, 3 pop-ups, through only 4 innings, and all 3 outs in the first, okay? Tristan Casas, a one-man wrecking ball on defense. Don't hit the ball to Tristan Casas. Red Sox right-hander Tanner Houck, he's expected to rejoin the team on Monday, and we told you already, Adalberto Mondesi has been shut down from baseball activities. He's not feeling great while ramping up. And Tanner Rainey for the Nationals is set to begin a rehab assignment with Class A, and Mason Thompson will pitch today for Double-A Harrisburg. The Phillies won for the first time in 4 games. They beat the Blue Jays 9-4. The Phillies avoided a sweep in the 2-game series, and they have scored only 2 runs in the last 3 games, but broke out of that slump with 11 hits last night. Aaron Nola pitched 5 innings. He snapped a 4-start winless streak. He allowed 4 runs and 4 hits, including a 2-run homer by Dalton Varsho. Nola struck out 7 and walked a season-high 4 batters, the same number of walks he had over 5 starts in July. So he doesn't usually walk very many. Oh my God. Boston Paul, you've got to get over the Joey Meneses. I like the World Baseball Classic jerseys, though. Those are fun. Kevin Gausman, 7 runs, 5 earned, 7 hits, and 5 1/3. He walked 3 and struck out 4, and he boosted his AL leading total to 187. Bryce Harper hit 2 solo homers. Bryce Harper went 3 for 4 with a walk. It was his 25th career multi-homer game and first this season. I would love for Bryce Harper to tamper it down because I am going to draft Bryce Harper in every single league next year. So buyer beware. If you're in a league with me, don't even bother. I'm taking him. I need him to tamp down right now and stop hitting these homers. All right? He's only got 8 and 9. Yesterday he hit 8 and 9 on the season. Just last week he was like 6 on the season. So let's tamper it down a little, Bryce, okay? Jake Cave, solo homer. Nick Castellanos, 2 hits and an RBI. Jay Jackson hit his 3rd homer. Christian Pache went 1 for 4 as the DH in a rehab appearance. Matt Chapman missed the 3rd straight game because of a sore right middle finger. Bo Bichette started at DH and went 2 for 3 in a rehab appearance at AAA Buffalo. He scored from first base on a double. Bichette will play shortstop for the Bisons today and could rejoin the Blue Jays tomorrow. Yes, Bichette could be back tomorrow. Now, Harper did start at first base yesterday for the first time since he left in the 5th inning on August 10th because of back spasms. So he is back at first base, even though for the past 3 games he was playing DH. You know that Gausman and Nola have been friends since they were teammates at Louisiana State University. They faced each other yesterday, and both of them says it's always fun to face off with my old teammate. While the Atlanta Braves focus on 100 wins, the Yankees' new goal is shaking their losing record. The Braves beat New York 2-0 to complete a 3-game sweep, and the struggling Yankees dropped below 500 for the first time this season. New York was left with a 5-game losing streak after being outscored 18-3 in the sweep. All right, capped by back-to-back shutouts for the first time this season. The Braves just crushed the Yankees. They crushed the Mets. They crush everybody. The Braves have thrown 4 shutouts in their last 7 games, okay? They have the major's best record. They're going to win the World Series, in my opinion. It's the first time the last-place Yankees have had a losing record of at least 120 games into a season since '95. They were also the same record, 60-61. The Yankees haven't missed the playoffs since 2016, but began last night, 6.5 games back of the American League's last wild card spot. New York has finished with a winning record in 30 consecutive seasons, and Aaron Boone is still saying that it's not too late to salvage the season. The Yankees came into the game with a .232 batting average. The only team with a worse batting average than the New York Yankees this year is the Oakland Athletics. Yesterday, they were limited to 4 hits. The last time the Yankees were shut out in back-to-back games was August of 2022. And let me tell you, the attendance at Truist Park. It was the 43rd sellout of the season at Truist Park. The attendance was 40,743 fans. Charlie Morton recorded 10 strikeouts in 6 innings. He allowed 4 hits with 1 walk as he struck out at least 10 batters for the 26th time in his career. His only previous double-digit strikeout game this season came with 10 in a 12-0 win at Texas on May 15th. Rookie right-hander Randy Vasquez allowed 2 runs in 3 1/3 innings in his 4th career start for the Yankees. Eddie Rosario hit a 2-run homer. Aaron Judge had 1 hit and 3 strikeouts. And Carlos Rodon threw 5 innings in a simulated game at Tampa. And barring a setback, he could return to the rotation for next week's series against Washington. The Angels beat the Rangers 2-0. Texas entered the game with a .273 team batting average and an MLB high 1,138 hits. They were held scoreless for the 9th time this season. The Rangers still won their 5th series in a row, taking 2 of 3 from Los Angeles. But they did have their 9-game home winning streak snapped. All right. And Houston beat Miami, so they moved to within 2.5 games of the Rangers in the American League West. Now, before Reed Detmers took the mound, Angels managers had already decided that his starter would have to do something crazy if he was going to go through the Texas Rangers lineup a 3rd time. But he did do something crazy, and he took a no-no into the 8th inning. And Detmers had gone 0-4 in his previous 6 starts. He allowed 14 runs over 6 1/3 innings combined in his 2 other starts this month. He gave up 7 runs without getting out of the 3rd inning at Houston last Friday, all right? He pitched on 4 days rest for the first time this season, and he had a 1-0 lead throwing his first pitch because Ohtani hit his major league leading 42nd home run in the top of the 1st inning. Detmers finished with 5 strikeouts and 4 walks. We hate the walks, but he threw 64 strikes among his 108 pitches. John Gray struck out 4 and walked 2 while allowing 1 run over 7 innings. Reynaldo Lopez and Carlos Estevez finished off the Angels' 8th shutout this season. Estevez tried to lose the game. He gave up back-to-back singles to open the 9th, but he did get his 26th save in 28 chances by striking out 2 of the last 3 batters. There have been 4 no-hitters thrown in the majors this season and 2 this month. Christopher Morel hit a dramatic 3-run homer off Gregory Santos in the 9th inning, sending the Cubbies to a memorable 4-3 victory over the White Sox. Cody Bellinger sparked the winning rally with a leadoff double. Dansby Swanson then walked before Morel drove a 99.5-mile-an-hour sinker over the wall for his 19th homer. The Wrigley Field crowd was 40,869, and they cheered wildly as Morel set off on his wild trip around the bases. It was his first career game-ending home run, and he credited former Cubs catcher Wilson Contreras for a tip that helped him stay focused when the game is on the line. It was the second homer allowed by Santos in 51 appearances this year. He allowed a total of 2 runs over his previous 12 games. The Cubs were looking at a third straight loss before their big finish. Nick Madrigal pinch hit homer. Drew Smiley pinched a scoreless inning for the win. The White Sox wasted a terrific performance by Clevenger, who tossed 7 innings of 2-hit ball. Clevenger is 3-2 with a 2.15 ERA in his last 9 starts. That's the Clevenger I remember from Cleveland. Gavin Sheets hit his first homer since June 16th and 9th of the season. The White Sox had won 6 in a row at Wrigley. Imagine that. The Cubbies are 62-58. They're fighting for a playoff spot in the crowded National League standings and took 3 of 4 in the season series against the White Sox. Javier Assad was charged with 3 runs, 2 earned, and 4 hits in 6 innings. That's pretty good. Marcus Stroman was slated to come off the injured list. We already talked about his discomfort. An MRI showed a cartilage fracture, so we say there's no timetable for Stroman's return. The White Sox shortstop, Tim Anderson, is back. Whoop-de-freaking-do. 0 for 3 with a walk in his return to the lineup after he was scratched from the series opener because he's got neck stiffness now. Also, there's no word on his appeal of his 6-game suspension. This guy has the balls to appeal this, okay? Just do your time. Good grief. Eloy got the day off, imagine that, because he got hurt trying to beat out a grounder to the pitcher on Tuesday, and the manager says that he is day-to-day. Imagine that. Eloy is day-to-day. Brad Boxberger and Brandon Hughes are scheduled to throw bullpen session today. Teoscar Hernandez hit a tie-breaking sacrifice fly in the 8th, and the Mariners beat the Royals 6-5. Not bad for the Royals still. Luis Castillo's allowed 4 runs on 9 hits in 7 innings. He walked 1 and struck out 3. James MacArthur made his first major league start as the opener for the Royals. He still allowed 3 runs on 3 hits in 1 inning. That's not good. Julio Rodriguez had 4 hits. Cal Raleigh, he had a home run and a double. Matt Brash picked up his 3rd save despite allowing Nelson Velasquez's homer in the 9th. Dylan Coleman took the loss for Kansas City. Maikel Garcia extended his Royals rookie record hitting streak to 18 games with a double on the first pitch from Castillo. It's the longest active streak in the majors. Maikel Garcia, that's a bright spot for you, All-Star Dog. All right, Drew Waters hit a triple. Tom Murphy was placed on the 10-day injured list with a left thumb sprain, retroactive to August 14th. Tatis Jr. stole home in the 7th inning to electrify a sellout crowd at Petco Park, and big league ERA leader Blake Snell pitched 6 strong innings as the Padres beat the Orioles 5-2 to take 2 of 3 from the best team in the American League. Trent Grisham homered to give the Padres a 4-2 lead. Tatis singled, stole second, and took third on a pitcher throwing error. And then when Juan Soto was batting, Perez had his back turned, and Tatis took a few steps, began jogging, and then broke into a sprint to easily steal home. Then Cronenworth went airborne to make a spectacular catch of Adley Rutschman's liner. Snell saw his ERA tick up a little bit from 2.63 to 2.65 as he allowed 2 runs and just 3 hits. struck out 5, and walked 2. His only big mistake was Ryan Mountcastle's solo home run in the 6th. That's Mountcastle's 16th of the season. And the inconsistent Padres won for just the 4th time in 11 games. They entered last night in 4th place in the National League West, 16 games behind the Dodgers. Josh Hader pitched the 9th for his 27th save. Dean Kremer allowed 3 runs and 5 hits in 6 innings. Aaron Hicks wasn't in the lineup for a second straight game for the Orioles after experiencing back soreness on Monday. That was his first game back from the injured list, and now he's listed day to day. The dog days of summer feel just fine to those pesky Dodgers. Mookie Betts went 3 for 4 and scored 4 runs, and the Dodgers won their 10th in a row. Oh, I hate this game. I might as well just cut the show off now. They beat the Brewers 7-1. The Dodgers increased their NL West lead to 10 games over San Francisco, second place. They've outscored the opposition 61-22 during their winning streak. Freddie Freeman ended an 0-for-14 skid with a 3-for-5 performance to go with stellar defense on a night when the Dodgers turned 3 double plays. 5 of the Dodgers' 7 runs came with 2 outs on the board, including Chris Taylor's solo home run in the 7th. Kershaw allowed 1 run and 3 hits in 5 innings, struck out 2 and walked 2. It was his second start since coming off the injured list. It was his 208th victory. It moved him to within 1 of tying Don Drysdale for second on the franchise's all-time wins list. Brewers catcher William Contreras was called for interference in the first and second innings that led to runs. He leads the majors with 5 interference calls this season. The Brewers' lone run came on Mark Canha's solo homer, his first since he joined the Brewers. Christian Yelich was hitless in 4 at-bats with the strikeout. Wade Miley gave up 4 runs and 7 hits in 5 innings, struck out 2 and walked 2. 2 of his 3 losses this season have come against the Dodgers. And Joe Kelly will throw a bullpen session tomorrow. That's it. I finished on time. Can you believe it? What a great day for everybody. Again, happy birthday to the King Hapster, the Hap of all Haps. Taco, great to see you. SM King Turd, Laura, Mary, Unholy, everybody. Eddie Heckman, Teresa. Yes, behind every good man is a great lady. Or man. Depends on whatever you like. Behind every person is a great person. I'm saying that because I am the great person behind Lenny Melnick, the legend of all legends. Say goodbye, Leonard.
Adios, everybody.
Everybody, we have a wonderful day ahead. We'll see you tomorrow.